We're here with Cal freshmen Jonathan McDonald and Steve Dunn and David Ortega Sr. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Doing awesome today.
So you guys have something really in common. You grew up in the same community in Moraga and Orinda, and you are all legacies of former Cal Bears. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like growing up the son of local Cal players back in the day and going to games as kids and everything? Did you envision yourselves growing up to be a part of the program? What are your thoughts on that?
I'll start, I guess. So basically, my first Cal game, I came in a baby carriage. I was, 3 or 4 months old. So I've kind of grown up in this program and seen it grow. And I've seen, with Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Jackson, Marshawn Lynch, some of the great players that have come through here in the last few years. I've seen what the program can be, and I think we're headed in the right direction. Coach Dykes and our coaching staff is doing a great job. Everyone's working hard, and I know I can speak for everyone when we say, we're just proud to be here and excited for what the future holds.
How about the rest of you guys? You go to many games growing up?
For me, yeah, I was born in Berkeley at Olson Bates Hospital, and for me, yeah, I came same as Justin in a carriage since I was young. My dad, when he started coaching back in the early '90s, I was at almost every practice with all the players, like Tony Gonzalez and people who played back in the '90s. And now being here, it's a great opportunity for me to get an education and to be a part of, I think, part of something special here. I think we're heading in the right direction. Hopefully we can turn this program around.
Were you kind of starstruck being around those guys as a kid?
Oh, definitely. I've met almost all the big-name players that have come through here. Like Justin said, Marshawn, Deshaun, Tony Gonzalez, Aaron Rodgers. My dad introduced me to them more than once. So it was pretty definitely me being starstruck.
Good.
I always grew up as a little kid, coming to games and having this dream that I could be a Cal football player, and that was just something I always really wanted to do. And as I grew older, I started to realize that it wasn't going to be as easy as I thought it would be. But when I finally got the opportunity to come here, I couldn't have been more happy. It's been my childhood dream ever since I was a little kid to play football here at Cal, and now that I got the opportunity to be here, I'm just so happy and so blessed. And it's just wonderful because I've been sitting up in Section DD since I was 2 years old, like them, 3 years old, coming to all the games, sitting through all the seasons, coming here all the time, loving the team, following them closely, seeing all the big name players, and always wanting to be on the team like everyone else, and to finally have that opportunity it's just awesome.
So even though you guys grew up in the same community, you played your high school ball at different places. Jonathan at Miramani, Justin at Campo, and David over at De La Salle. Your dads played around the same time. I believe there were a couple of overlapping years for all of them. Justin, your dad had a role in one of the most famous plays in college football. I always heard he was on the field for the play, and I'm like, yeah, how many people were on the field? 50 people. But then I read about it, and I heard he was the guy that talked his way on at the last minute when they called this random coverage, and he played a big role. He threw a key block early in the return for that famous touchdown. Did he talk much about that growing up?
Growing up, he tried to avoid it, definitely. I mean, he probably knew that all the buddies that he had, from college, during our tailgates. I mean, we tailgated in Kleberger, which is right outside the stadium, for tons of years, and all of the alumni would come and hang out, and they would always bring it up. My dad necessarily would not, for whatever reason, but definitely all of his friends, and every time I was around here, he was like, "Oh, do you know your dad's in the play? Like, have you seen it?" Like, and so I've seen it a fair share of times, on ESPN Top 100 and all that stuff. But yeah, definitely, it's cool to be able to come here and hopefully I can talk myself onto one of those plays, and I'll fill his shoes and do something cool like that. So yeah, definitely.
And David, your dad played with just some outrageously talented linebackers with Ken Harvey and Hardy Nickerson and Gary Hendrickson, Steve Hendrickson. I mean, so many really good linebackers. Ron Rivera. And here he is, the guy that still holds the all-time tackle record. Is that really cool to have as a family legacy?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, my dad doesn't really talk about it that much unless he has to bring it up. And if I ever think if I'm trying to be better than him, he always has to bring it up. But other than that, no, it's for me, it's more of a help because he knows the insides and outs of football, and it's honestly gotten me to where I am today at this great university. It's taught me just everything I know about football, and like I said, I am where I am because of him.
Jonathan, what'd you do to your elbow the other day?
You know, I just wasn't ready and got knocked over. Run over, you can say, knocked over. But when I went to put my arm down to brace my fall, I hyperextended it and then it dislocated. So, you know, that was not the highlight of my camp. But
not much of a birthday present either, huh? Your birthday today.
Yeah, yeah, it's my birthday today. But, you know, it's part of the game, and it's not going to keep me out too long, and hopefully I'll be back soon and right back at it, back out there with everyone else, continuing to get better.
So you guys played for top-notch programs. Justin, you were on a state champion or a state runner-up in the state championship game. Jonathan, you were for a section champion, CIF section champion. David, you played for a state champion yourself and runner-up last year. So you've played with a lot of great talent and against a lot of great talent. What's it like being out here with Division I players? How much of an adjustment is it?
Well, you know, we played Jared Goff actually in the NCS championship. So you know, that's kind of been my first experience with him and coming out here. And you know, he brought that up the first day that I met him.
You guys beat him. He probably didn't like that.
We did beat him, but he definitely brought that up the first day. So that was kind of a nice icebreaker. But you know, it's definitely a step up. Obviously, Division I football is very tough, but I feel like all of our high schools, I feel like, prepared us very well, especially academically. I know that. And you know, being out here, we're obviously trying to work hard and, you know, work our way up the depth chart to hopefully, you know, in the years to come, do something special.
So Johnny Mac, Justin, seen you guys grow up since skinny little kids. David, little guy around the pool. You guys have all grown up to make your parents proud, and so glad to have you a part of the Cal Bear legacy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Here we go. We are here with former Cal Bears and local La Miranda residents David Ortega, Steve Dunn, and Patrick McDonald. How you doing, guys?
Doing well.
So we had a chance to talk to your sons who followed in your footsteps at Cal. Wanted to get some feedback from you about what your thoughts are on your boys following you to your alma mater and having a chance to play in your old program. David, let's start with you.
Sure. I am so excited for my son. You know, it's interesting because I was coaching when he was a little tyke, and when we first had him, I was on the football staff, and I spent the next, you know, until he was about 10 years old when I was on the staff. I was on the football staff with him growing up, so I wasn't home as much as I am now. However, he learned so much football, and he would actually, when we would go down to Los Angeles, because we made a lot of trips down there, taking him down to see our family, and when we'd ask him what videotapes he wanted to take with him, well, most kids at his age, you know, 4, 5, 6, wanted Barney or Power Rangers. David took all of my not scouting tapes, the Grid Club tapes, that were just cut-ups of the Cal football games without intermissions or no huddling or anything. So he would take home every game that Cal had won. He would never take a game that they lost.
Smart kid.
So he took every Cal game he won that I had in our library, and he'd just take them and he'd sit there and watch them. So everyone said that I did it to him, but it's like he wanted to do that by himself.
He caught the fever early.
So for him, it's literally, he grew up there when I was on staff, and now he's playing there, and I think it wasn't until I talked to him after the first practice that he said, "Wow, I can't believe I'm actually practicing here, part of the team." So he's very excited about that.
Great.
I'm excited for him. You know, Teresa and I both went to Cal, so we're both elated.
Well, yeah, Justin's excited to be there too. He's fourth generation Golden Bear, so it's pretty special for the whole family. My grandfather, his great grandfather, actually was a javelin thrower there and had the U.S. record.
Wow!
Is in the Hall of Fame, like David.
When was that?
And so that's pretty exciting for our family to have him there. It wasn't necessarily a shoo-in that he was going to go there. You know, he was really looking seriously at the Ivy Leagues. When it all came down to the decision, which was purely his, he wanted to stay home. And to him, home is Berkeley. And we definitely grew up there, going to all the tailgates and the history of all the coaches and just his experience in the locker rooms and meeting players over the years is very special to him. I think he's very excited to be there and be a part of it.
Patrick?
So Jonathan, same thing. You know, we grew up going to games every Saturday, and I used to not let him go to his friends' birthday parties that was on a Cal game day. So, bad father.
Priorities.
But and he would run around and, you know, play in the bottom rows and stuff, and then, you know, began to pay more and more attention. And you know, he's just fallen in love with Cal football. He's you know, my wife went to Cal. I went to Cal. My father-in-law worked at Cal. Actually put together the dorm Clark Kerr that they're living in now.
Wow.
He's the one who transformed it from what it was previously. Jonathan is a third-generation college football player. My dad played at Kansas State. I played at Cal. And I just know that having heard him pray the prayer, I know he's incredibly thankful to be there. You know, I'm happy for him. I'm just happy for him.
So did you guys have overlapping years?
I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
Those two overlapped, and then me and Pat overlapped.
Yeah, so we all overlapped at different times. But
Okay.
that's exactly
David and I actually roomed together in camp.
In camp.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we played the same position, and we spent a lot of time together.
So, David, you played at St. Paul in LA, right?
Right.
Okay. And Steve, you were at Miramani.
Correct.
You were there a few years before me. I remember your team's CIF runner-up. You guys had beaten De La Salle's precursor, Salesian, who was just unstoppable, and then had Hayward on the ropes, and former Cal hoops record holder Bob McKean's son Brian had his shoulder or his collarbone broken by Jack Del Rio, and they came back and won.
That is a fact. I still have a hard time with that one, actually.
I do too, and I didn't even play with you guys.
No one likes to lose.
No.
I know the three of us don't like to lose.
Especially that way.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
We had them.
And Patrick, where'd you play?
Torrey Pines High School down in San Diego.
Down San Diego, okay. And Steve, you were part of Cal lore being a part of the play. There's been how many hundreds of people that claim they were on the field for the play, and I had heard it a lot too, but found out in recent years it was for real, and it was a real interesting story how you got out there. Can you give us a little background on that?
The right place at the right time. I wasn't supposed to be on the hands team, although I participated a lot on the special teams. And so we actually only had 9 guys on the field. I don't know if my name was actually called, but I threw my helmet on and ran on as the 10th player. Then I believe Scott Smith ran on as the 11th. And so it just happened that the kick came my direction. Well, actually, the first lateral came my direction from Kevin Bone, and I felt the presence of Richard Rodgers, so I didn't screw it all up, and I went up and made a block for it, so that's my claim to fame. And obviously the rest is
try to squib it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. Rodgers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rodgers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end zone. The Bears! The Bears have won! The Bears have won! Oh, my God! The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football.
A great experience for me, and very exciting, obviously, for the school and the history.
Well, thanks, guys. So great to see your sons follow in your footsteps at Cal and wearing the blue and gold, and I know we're all looking forward to seeing what they can do in upcoming years.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.